So pretty widespread of a question here, just to get us kicked off. Um, National champion. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it's just everything that we've ever dreamed of and more. All the interviews over the past couple weeks, and I think Madison Lilly, our setter, said it best that there's no group more deserving. Whenever we were fighting for our, I think we were in the Elite Eight, maybe even the Final Four. I can't remember, but we're all like hyped up, like we're about to win this game, and like everyone's going crazy. And but we still had like half a set to play, but everyone just knew like we're gonna win this game. And then she like brought everyone in, and she's like, "Hey, listen up, like." We haven't done anything yet. We need to put the foot on the pedal, but like no one's more deserving than us. Like we deserve to be in this moment. We've prepared, we've worked hard, we've trained. So like act like we belong here kind of deal. And I think that's so true of this team. We've been working for almost a year now. I think it's been like 9 or 10 months, just for a moment to get in the gym and compete. And that's finally, that moment happened and we performed exactly how we wanted to. So I think it just is so deserving, especially with a group like this.
Yeah, so you guys won the national championship 3-1 over Texas. What was your first initial thoughts whenever you had hit the ball over the net and it hit the floor?
Oh, I don't know. It all happened so fast. It was just like a crazy moment. But I think the best part was definitely like everyone landing. You see the ref, like we get the point, and then everyone just comes down is like cheering, and then we look to the bench. I think overall, like every game that we won, that's exactly what we did. Is we all cheered and like looked to the bench for all 15 to cheer together. It wasn't a oh this is us like only the six on the court or this is about me or this is about you, but it was all 15 of us. Like we've all worked to be here, like let's all celebrate together, which definitely was just like I think running through everyone's mind of like we always say the power of 15. So there's 15 of us and like we don't get the job done without all 15 of us, which is so special.
Yeah, so you had the final kill in the national championship. Were there any nerves as you see the volleyball kind of get popped up to you? It was set over to you. It looks like just a routine play there in volleyball, but were there any nerves, as you wind back to hit the ball?
Yeah, I think at that point the nerves were kind of gone. It was more just, definitely when we start the game, you kind of have the adrenaline, the nerves, the anxiousness. But once you get settled those first 10 points, like for me personally, it's like this new person kind of takes over and it's like, we're in it to win it. Like, let's do the dang thing. And like, I kind of just like switch personalities and it's like a game on. So I think at the end, like, I'm telling myself, like, give me the ball. I want the ball. And I messed up. I don't know if y'all saw, but I messed up the point before that to win it. My hand got caught in my hair and I like hit it in the net. And obviously you don't want to go out like that and the game's like close at this point, but still just like having that confidence of, oh, I want the ball again, like I'm going to finish the game right here. That just like has to be your attitude and mindset. And so I just have trained that, and that's definitely what was going on.
Well, I can promise you that after the next play, nobody remembered the hand getting caught in the hair in the mess up situation. After the next play, I think everybody had kind of moved
Yeah,
on.
hopefully so. Hopefully so.
Yeah, so I currently go to Jeff High School where Coach Briscoe, your former coach at Christian Academy, coached.
Yeah.
And I know he means a lot to you, but if you could sum up what it was like to play for Coach Briscoe, what would you say?
Good question. He actually drove out to Omaha. I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Crazy. He
I
drove
got,
for
I got
like
to talk
11
to him
hours.
after it.
He's nuts. He did that. He's crazy. Um, but playing for Wes, I would say he's just a fighter, and I think that's so contagious when you have a coach who wants to win so badly that just bleeds out onto your players. And I think maybe one day, like if that's the career I want to pursue, like I want my players to like feed off of that energy. And I definitely learned that from him is he's just a fighter and won't take no for an answer, which is awesome. So sorry, it's kind of dark in here. Let me help the situation a little bit. But yeah, he's just such a fighter, and I think that, like I said, it's just so contagious. And it's just awesome to play under someone like that.
Yeah, I got to call a couple of his games, and I absolutely love the intensity that he brings. He is yelling, I think, more than the players.
Yeah.
And see, we're dealing with COVID right now, of course. So he wears a face shield instead of a mask. So you get the full Wes Briscoe facial reaction instead of
Yeah.
like the mask blocking half of it. You get the full thing with the clear face shield.
I love that.
What was that like? Looking over at your coach and seeing him red in the face, just screaming his head off.
Yeah, red in the face for sure with that red hair. Um, I think, like, personally, I kind of feed off of that. Like, I'm not a big yeller. You can probably tell that by how I play. Like, I get enthusiastic and I'm like passionate about it, but I'm not like, if you're doing something wrong, I'm not gonna like chew you out for it or like get on you, which, you know, some leaders do that. Some players get like that, but that's just not me. So I think it was a really good balance, like where he probably wanted more emotion out of me, where I was just like, Wes, like chill, take a chill. So I think it was like a great balance of he, you know, was really bringing the energy, the passion, and like I said, it's contagious. So I think it was a really good mix of a big yeller and me who just is kind of, you know, steady.
Yeah, so the next day after you guys won, UK released an article on their athletics page, and it said that Alli Stumler unstoppable in the NCAA title matches. Do you like getting all the media attention? You know, you mentioned all the interviews and stuff. Do you like the media attention? Do you not mind it, or is it too much sometimes?
I love it. I was just actually filling out a survey today, like about college athletics and all of that, and it was like talking about media and how you handle it. Do you like get on there after a loss, a win? How you handle it if you think it's too much? And I just like have, oh goodness, sorry,
You're totally fine. Don't worry about that.
switch screens. But I don't think that I've ever thought for a minute like, oh, this is too much, or I don't want this attention, or you know, I think with attention comes responsibility, and I think that's such a great honor to have that. You know, people, young people, look up to our program, look up to me, and I think it's so cool. You know, that I have a platform to share about my faith, to share about the circumstances, situations that I've gone through, and I can speak life into people, into little girls, and that's so cool that, you know, people are copying my hairstyle and doing all this stuff. It's just awesome that I have such a platform, and I get to control how I use it. You know, I can use it to build people up. I can use it to tear people down. I can make myself look like a hot shot. I can make myself look humble. It's totally in my hands, and that's such an awesome thing. I think you can totally make your platform what you want it to be, and that's really awesome.
Absolutely. So 26 kills and only 2 errors and 51 swings. When you look at a stat line like that, especially in that big of a game, what do you credit that most to? Is it a training thing? Is it a coaching? Is it a dedication? What would you credit that to?
I think training for sure, and that, you know, that comes from our coaches. You know, obviously they're the ones day in and day out who get in the gym with us and, you know, pick the drills and pick what we're doing every day, what we're working on getting better at. But then that also, you know, credit to my team who gets in every single day. You know, I don't get better without them and people pushing me. So overall, I think training's the big idea there. And we always say, you know, like trust your confidence, trust your training, that kind of deal. So like every day we come in and we practice, and you know, some days we don't want to, some days we'd rather be out at the pool, or we'd rather be with our friends or doing anything else. But that day, for those 3.5 hours, like we're getting in the gym and we're going to train. So then when it does come game time, when it's the final four matches, the championship matches, we can just like take a deep breath and know I've trained every day for almost a year now in COVID instances, but I've trained every day and I have the right skills. Now just like take a deep breath and do it. Don't think about it, just do it. And you know, when you have that kind of confidence in your training, you know you're doing something right. And again, just like credit to coaches and teammates who push us every day to get to that position where we can just deep breath, now trust it and go.
Yeah, so my second to last question here for you. You said after the game, I really have no words. It doesn't feel real yet that we're the number one team in the country, we're the national champions, and that I get to play with such an amazing group like this. You just can't beat it. So my question to you is, you mentioned at the very beginning there, I have no words. It doesn't feel real yet. Um, does it feel real, or are you still kind of in shock after all this time has passed?
You know, it's starting to set in a little bit. You know, the more you hear it and the more congrats you get and all that. But I mean, my coach, I passed him yesterday. I'm leaving the gym and he's like, "Are you still floating? Are you still floating on cloud nine?" I'm like, man, like, I don't know if I'm ever going to come down. Like, that was just such an unreal moment that, you know, I'm still living in. I show up to class the next or 2 days later, and all my friends and teachers surprise me with donuts and signs. And then I show up to my elementary school that I help at, and they've decorated the hallways and painted me pictures, and it's just unreal. And that like we're in a moment like this, and that I get to live in this. And it definitely, I don't think has definitely set in, but I think when we start competing again in the fall, or I guess this summer, then it'll kind of start to feel real. But it's just crazy. You know, you look up to players your whole life, the Catherine Plumbers who were so good, the Carrie Walshes who played and now are in Beach, and just all these stud athletes who you're like, man, like those are championship girls. But now like people are saying that about us and like our 2020 Kentucky volleyball team. Like those are the studs that they want to become, and that's so cool. And we'll definitely never take that for granted.
Yeah, so you mentioned beach volleyball and stuff. My final question for you here, before we head to break, and then we'll play Liar Liar in just a second. But aspirations for after college is over at Kentucky, is there? Is it beach volleyball? Is it maybe some volleyball in Europe? What is it?
I wish I had an answer for you. I'm just not sure. You know, I feel like every month it kind of changes what my plans are. But there's obviously every athlete got an opportunity to have a fifth year after they graduate. So some seniors are taking that. One is at a different program, but so that's an option. I think the end goal is the Olympics. I think that as every athlete, every volleyball player, like that's kind of your end goal. Now, if things kind of line up and that's an opportunity, then that's a no-brainer for me. But to get there, I think I'm going to have to definitely probably go play overseas, and that's definitely a dream and a desire. So just hoping everything kind of aligns and God helps me get there. So yeah, that's the plan. Just going to keep playing as long as my body holds up.
Buck, did you have any questions, or you want to head to break and go to Liar Liar?
Yeah, so first things first, talking to you gets me excited to play sports again. Like, I have not stepped on a Division I field for, probably 12 years or so, and just listening to passion in your voice gets me excited, and I want to, like, run through a brick wall for you just like right now. I'm like, let's put on the pads, let's do something, yada, yada, yada. But I'm going to totally steer away from sports with you for a second here, and the one thing that really rung out in my head is like, you are in school to become a teacher. First things first, it takes a very special person to become a teacher, to deal with the things that you got to deal with in and out of school. My sister-in-law is a teacher, and she's still grading papers at 8:30 at night. It is crazy the amount of hours that they put in. Have you thought about which grade that you want to teach? High school, college, elementary? What is your goal for that?
Yeah, so right now, again, this is something that changes pretty frequently. But right now, I would say probably like second or third grade. So at UK, they kind of do the education program. So, like, your last 3 to 4 semesters, you're like totally immersed in the school. So I've been in third grade, second grade, and then next year I'll be switched to like either first or fifth or whatever. But yeah, so I'm thinking second or third. I really love that age. They're independent, can, blow their nose by themselves, eat by themselves, make good decisions, but also they're young enough to where they're still sweet and not super stubborn. So I'm loving that part about it. But yeah, so far it's been awesome. I just love to give back. I think, like you said, it takes a special person. So
Yeah.
I'd like to think that I'm someone who can take on the challenge, and I definitely think this experience of volleyball has 100% prepared that. Just the discipline and the drive for
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, we'll see. I'm loving it right now. We'll see if that continues.
And you also said something about possibly being a coach, and I could tell by just the passion and the excitement, like, in your voice that you have for this sport, that if I had a daughter, I would love for her to play for you 100%. So there are many people that we have interviewed, and they say they want to coach and then come back to their old high school and, like, coach. Have you ever thought about that at all? Maybe coming, like, after you're done playing in Europe or the Olympics and training, to come back and be a high school coach?
Yeah, definitely. I don't really know what area I'll end up in, whether I will be back home here in Lexington. I have no idea where I'll end up, but for sure, I think that's something I've 100% thought about, is maybe teaching and then coaching on the side, or coaching. I played at club volleyball over in Louisville at Kiva and at Union, so maybe getting a little side thing there or whatever. But like you said, just the passion is unbelievable, and I think and pray that's something that I always have for the sport. So definitely right now, I would love to coach and just help younger generations see and feel the passion that I have for the sport, and know that dreams really can become a reality if you go about it the right way.
Yeah. Thank you for those kind words, and just, like, I feel inspired just talking to you,
Well,
and
thank you.
it makes me
Thank
want to
you.
get back on the field and coach those kids just a little bit harder, just to make them that much better people. So, are you staying
Yeah.
for Liar Liar for, like, our game?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so let's go ahead and take, like, a 30-second break here, and then we'll start the game Liar Liar. Cool?
Perfect.
All right, guys, we'll be right back here and momentarily on the Man Hour. Let me give the crystal ball. There it is. Boom.